we want to be cool when we're on the radio. We don't want to sound like a bunch of third graders. All right, welcome to Stand Up Stand Up. With me today, my fellow Misfits, Matt Campisi, Rydel Nielsen. I'm Tim Stevens. Let's get into it. Quote of the day. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. And that is why they call it present. Kung Fu Panda.
and some of the best advice ever.
That's
Kung
right.
Fu Panda?
That's right.
Jack Black. Wow.
So this week, our focus has been the war stories of being in tech. And you bring down the network or a system or a service or impact a customer, talking about those experiences because we all have had them. We will all have them and we have them today. But how do you maneuver those? How do you get through them? How do you mitigate them? And then how do you help the people around you also maneuver those? Because everybody inevitably will go through them.
Well, I think it's always good to take a deep breath and just think a little bit. Sometimes I think now it's very much Action Jackson, right? Like we got to get this, got to go. We got to get this fixed, get this done. And, there's nothing wrong with just taking a minute to think through some possibilities that are going to happen. I think the same is true with comedy, right? Good comedy, a comic makes it feel like they're doing it right there in the moment, but they've thought about every single moment and like how that timing's going to hit and how that joke's going to hit. And then a really good comic listens to his comic buddies that say, if you just thought about this or you just tweak this, right, and then you take that in, you're only going to get better, right? I think there is a ego/pride thing, especially when you're younger, which is I got to be recognized for being an expert here. And like the best experts, I think, shut up and they listen a lot and learn some time.
This is back before people had high-speed internet at home, so everyone came to the office, right? If you're a real estate agent, you came to the office, and getting 1.5 meg full T1 out to the internet was how you got your job done to do your MLS listings. And I was doing an upgrade to the core site, and back then they had lease lines. So think of big extension cords, hub and spoke going out to all the sites. And not only was it a data lease line, we were splitting it in two and we were running PBXs. So it was one line with voice and video on it. I was upgrading the router, the PBX is going into the router, and I had to upgrade the operating system. So for all of you networking people, there's running config that's in active memory making the router work, and then there's the safe config. So if the router reboots, you go to the safe config. And for whatever insane thing, this impulse in my head goes, let's just try it. I reboot the router on my own. Like the power didn't fail. Like all the things you are freaking out about, like, please don't be a power outage, don't be a brownout. I need to get this image. I willingly, in the middle of the day, 7 sites, phone system, I willingly rebooted the router to see if I was right that the router would go down. And guess what? It went down.
You were right.
What it taught me was, Action Jackson and going kind of on the fly. You need to think things through. I probably made more mistakes even after that because I think you have to be humbled a little bit more often when you're a male in your 20s thinking you know it all. So my advice to people is slow down, think it through, deep breaths. You don't have to be right. You just have to service the customer and think about what your actions will do. So anyone, what could the 25-year-old Matt have done differently that maybe I didn't realize? I would love from you too.
I want to thank my fellow Misfits, Matt Campisi, Rydel Nielsen. I'm Tim Stevens. Have a great day.